Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Harold here, Figuremania Show. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. And in this video, we are taking a look at Hiya Toys' Exquisite Super Series The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon figure. And before I go any further, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Hiya Toys for sending me out this figure for review. And if you guys are interested in picking up this figure, it is listed as on pre-order at kowkistoy.com. You can use my promo code Figuremania-kowkis to get 6% off this figure. Now let's continue with this review of this awesome looking figure. When you unpack your figure, you get everything that you see here that is displayed. So you get the figure, you get an extra head sculpt, you get a duffel bag, you get his crossbow with 3 bows. There's one that I attached to his bow. You get a spear, mace, musket. You get 4 pairs of hands. So on the figure, there's already the open hand, open palm hands that's on the figure. You got different right hands. You got a hand for for his trigger finger for his musket. Right and left hands for holding objects, and another left hand as well. And you got these dual hands that have the knife, and it's like a knife with a brass knucks attached to it, sculpted in. So this is not removable. This looks very cool, very dangerous. Very nice. And continuing, he has a holder for his arrows. He's got his hat. He's got his display stand where you can put all your stuff in here. You've got the stand. Okay, so you can disassemble it, and you can make it shorter for your figure to accommodate it for you guys if space is your thing on your shelf space. You can make this even shorter, and I actually prefer this. And of course, you get a plastic bag where you can put all this stuff in here. Before looking at the paint app and sculpting details of the figure, let's look at the accessories. Let's start with the duffel bag, and I really like how this looks. So it's got really nice weathering, makes it look all nice and dirtied and things. Okay, and I've been trying to see if I can open this, and it doesn't look like I can. Or maybe if I untie this, and maybe I could throw some of his stuff in there, but I don't want to risk it. I'm just going to keep it like this. This is very cool looking. So let me just adjust the lighting here for you guys so you can take a look. And yeah, it looks like nice. It's all dirtied up and things, so it really looks nice. Very nice stitch work for sure. And taking a look at his black hat, I really like this. Very nicely done. When you put it on him, he kind of looks like the Undertaker. Very cool. And for the next accessory, I want to show you guys the holder for his arrows. And you can put his arrows inside this. And since I have this in my hand, let's just take a look at the arrows themselves. See if I can zoom in. There you go. So there's nice weathering detail on the arrows. Very nice. And the next accessory is the ball and chain. Very nice. Hold on, let me see if I can just get it to stop shaking. This is very cool. I really like this. And the next accessory is his spear. So it's got on one end it's got like the kind of spear that you would use for fishing, I guess. And then on the other end, I guess for killing people. And giving you guys a look at the musket. Look at the details on this part over here. The metal type painting, the gunmetal painting. Very nice. The details of the sculpting of this, it's just all well done. It's very nice. And it's consistent on the other side. This all looks very, very nice. Very impressive. And finally, this is Daryl Dixon's signature crossbow. Look at the details of the paint app, like the scratches all over his crossbow, very nicely done. And you can accommodate his arrows there, so I just pulled it off. So you can put it back in. You can hold all three of them in here if you want to. And this is string, so I'm not going to attempt to remove this, okay, because it might be very difficult to place back on, so I'm not even going to mess with that. But this looks amazing. This looks very, very impressive. Very cool. Let's take a look at the head sculpt, and this looks phenomenal. This definitely looks like Norman Reedus. From the scar on his face, the way his eyes look, the paint apps, the eyes, look at that. That looks amazing. The way the sculpting of his beard, like all the facial expressions and everything, this looks exactly like him. I think so. And the details of his hair, this looks fantastic. Very well done. So to the sculptor over at Hiya Toys, this is a phenomenal job. Very good. Yes. Look at that. Look at the eyes. That's amazing. Very well done. And I like how there's a glossness to the eyes, giving like that lifelike look, which is really amazing. I really like that. Very much appreciate that. And this is the second head sculpt, and this looks phenomenal. This is like him messing up somebody for sure, and the expressions on his face, his mouth and everything, the hair, you know, in front of his face. This looks really, really good. And it actually looks pretty menacing, actually. So he's got bad intentions on, you know, behind those eyes for sure. Look at that. That looks amazing, guys. Yeah, this definitely looks like Norman Reedus. Now, looking at the rest of the figure, everything looks very well done. I like the cloth goods coat. The stitch work is phenomenal. Very nice. Even he's got a scarf. You can remove that, and if you open up his coat, he's got suspenders. Let me just get him off of his stand for a moment so I can show you guys. So he's got suspenders. Look at the details on the belt and on the back. So that's consistent throughout. So let me take off the coat. So give me a second, guys. So here's the coat, and it is removable, and it is kind of easy to remove, which is nice. Okay, and to the naked eye, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but to the naked eye, there's like a little bit of weathering on the coat and things, to, you know, giving that bit of a grime look on the coat, like he's been wearing it for ages and it's not clean and things. So I hope you can see that through the camera, but like to the naked eye, you can see it. Like there's that dirt, you know, that dirt paint app to the coat and things, which is nice. And in terms of the wire, there's only a wire on this part and at the very bottom of the coat, so here and here, so you can you know, you can pose him when he's wearing his coat, you know, give him those dynamic poses and things for his coat. So here's the figure without his coat. So he's got his suspenders. So it's a sweater that he's wearing. Yeah, he looks way cooler with his coat on, so I'm gonna put that back on him. But since I have him like this, so let's just take a look at the stitch work on the pants. Very nice. And looking at his footwear, that looks very nice. That nice details at the bottom of his shoes, and he's got you know, blue shoelaces on this one and then red shoelaces on this one. Very cool. Okay, very cool. Very nice details all around for sure. I want to demo a few poses with this figure with the weapons, and the buck that is used for the Hiya Toys Exquisite Super Series. It's designed in such a way to give like realistic human posing and things. And if you look here, this is really nice. But however, because this figure, all the figures in the Exquisite Super Series uses cloth goods, you know, Unfortunately, sometimes that is the limitation, because the cloth goods can get in the way of the of the posing of the figure, and in terms of the range. Now, for example, here, like if you look at this picture here of this pose, I was looking at images online to see how to hold a musket, and like this part here should be tucked into the shoulder here. I couldn't really get that. I've been trying, and I just couldn't get the him to properly hold a musket. I think though here, like, I don't know, I'm not a gun enthusiast or anything, but I do feel that the part of the issue may be is that this part here may be a tad too long. So if it was shortened a little, then maybe I could tuck this part into his shoulder, to properly pose like how a person would hold a musket. So I kind of have to cheat it, but I think this looks pretty good. So I think this is okay. I mean, for figure photography's sake, I mean, I think this is okay. So just to illustrate again, ideally, according to illustrations and pictures I see online, this is like how to properly hold a musket by tucking this part here in the shoulder. But if I do that with the figure, then all of a sudden the hand can't reach the trigger finger. So which is something that I'll just have to contend with. But or maybe I can modify the particular weapon later so I can do this pose more accurately. Demonstrating for you another pose. This is the crossbow, and you can accommodate the arrow in the crossbow, which is nice. So I had an easier time with posing, getting him to hold the crossbow better because it's like a shorter weapon and things. But but again, like, it's kind of tough, to be, if I do it correctly and things, like his trigger finger slips out of the hole and things. So like it just needs adjusting, but all in all, this looks pretty cool. So let me just adjust the camera back for you guys. He's on one knee, and that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty badass. So yeah, very nice. I really like it. And here's Daryl Dixon with the dual knives, brass knucks, weapons, and this looks badass. Looks like he's ready to throw it down. And it's got good balancing, like you have to, you really have to find his footing, and where the figure can properly stand. You can do it, it just requires a little bit of fiddling on your part and things. And I think the figure does have good balance when you have everything in place and when you have it, properly standing and posing and things. So I think this is really good. This is very neat. Now let's do some size comparisons, and of course let's bring out Negan, and these two figures look awesome together. So first started off as enemies and then reluctant allies, but never fully trusting each other. Very good, awesome stories could be told here with these two figures for sure. And for the next size comparison, we have again Negan, and we also have John Rambo from Rambo 3, and these three look awesome together. It would be really cool. It would be an interesting story if Rambo was in the Walking Dead universe. That'd be pretty cool. And for the next size comparisons, we have 1000 Toys Dante, and this would be pretty cool. I hope Dante comes to the Hiya Toys line, because they're doing the Mega Man and other video game characters. I hope Dante's on the list for them to do. That'd be pretty cool. And for the next size comparison, we have the Exquisite Super Mr. Spock, and that looks pretty cool. And for probably the final size comparisons, we have RoboCop by Good Smile, and I love how this RoboCop towers over everybody else. I can't wait for Hiya Toys' Exquisite Super RoboCop. I'm very interested in getting that figure. I'm a huge RoboCop fan. And that's it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please stick to the end for the toy photography gallery and behind the scenes, and I will check you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.